And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey, the Sagittarius. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi. I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me directly, ladies on main, and we'll set that up, okay? What are we looking at in this round of reads, Sag? This is going to be your career read for at time of recording, month of May. And after the reawakening where I'm really trying to get everything back together, I still think that I'm comfortable with having the career read set somewhere in the middle in the publishing cycle, right? So career, what do I mean by this? This could be the opportunities, partnerships, ventures, the things that we give ourselves to and produce labor into in order to get something back from it. And sometimes it is purely material in terms of monetary, but it also could be so much more depending on what we do with it, right? So as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, Sag, even when it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. I had this conversation with all 12 signs. I don't gain anything from doing that, right? We lay our cards out on the table, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we're going to talk about it, because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one. So follow along with me in the read today, Sagittarius, your career read for this month. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. We're going to do a past, present, future orientation starting over here. Very linear. Show timeline of progression. Show us the cards we need to see, please, for Sagittarius in this read. What do we need to see for Sag in this read today? Ooh. Interesting that they came out in the reverse. I'll put it in the reverse. Four of Swords in the reverse. Okay. We went from a state of ease to a state of unworry. Page of Cups. While something provides us happiness, it's not providing us fulfillment. How so? Okay. Shuffle. So the cards we need to see, please, for Sag. Eight of Swords. Okay. Let's start with the top and work our way down. You'll understand my frustration with the Sag. Eight of Swords. The notion of powerlessness, or what we call chosen blindness. What was once a state of relaxation, again, this is all in the past orientation, and then it'll make sense why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. The Four of Swords, once a state of relaxation or reprieve, has now flipped in the reverse and said, oh crap, I think we waited too long. The Page of Cups, still happy, still trying to be content, still seeing the bigger and better happenings out of things. Then the Eight of Swords, the notion of powerlessness, here that there's an open air cage of swords for you to climb out of. And if you need to learn more about what the tarot cards mean, just go to the Learn With Me series, that playlist, and it'll explain more in depth what each of these cards mean individually. But the Eight of Swords, oftentimes characterized by an open air cage of swords, where can a person climb out of it if they were stuck or kidnapped? Yes. Will it hurt on the way out? Also probably yes. When we put those things together, your unrest and your gratitude, it's coming from a space of, I don't want to say pure desperation, but you kind of took something for granted, and now, oh crap, that it might have completely passed me by, right? The Eight of Swords now it's suggesting, oh no, how did we get here? I thought it was going to be there, and now it's not. Well, what do we do then, Sag? I think the question is more so, we have more direct and obvious answers that we're not looking at, and that's why it's in the past orientation, but we're just so caught up with other things that we're like, well, at least I have this. At least it's going good. At least every sentence and every response to the situation always started with at least. What then will we do at most? Let's look in the present orientation. Show the cards that we're going to see, please, in the present orientation of read today. for Sagittarius, what is held in the here and now for this read? Five of Wands, okay. Direct confrontation and a conflict comes up. How so? What is there to be expected if things fall apart? Why? The world, okay. And this too shall pass. I like that for you. The world, the highest even amongst the major arcana, representing the completion of the journey and a start to a new chapter, definitively. So what? We took something for granted that may have flown away. We now have to deal with the reality and somewhat consequences of that, Sag. Guess what? You're built for it. The archer aims their arrow high. And so what's going on in the present, yeah, we're dealing with the aftermath of whatever this was, of an opportunity, or it could be something of, oh, this will always be here. And now in the present, we're saying, no, if I'm genuinely to want more, then I gotta deal with the conflict of what unsettled me to my core in the past about it. This is coming to a close. And what I mean by that is whatever job or whatever opportunity that was giving you security, but not any advancement, not any growth, you're saying definitively, I'm done and over with it. That's where you're at. And so when we can say that and put our stamp on it, what then becomes of us next? What about the future? Show us cards we need to see, please, in the future orientation of this read. What are the cards that we need to see, please? Ooh, nice. However, didn't hit the table, so I cannot take. What are the cards we need to see, please, for Sagittarius in this read? From what is to what if. Page of Wands, optimism in its purest form. Very small, but very evident. Queen of Pentacles, creating and maximizing where we deserve to be and being comfortable with it. Four of Cups, okay. Because we could deal with all points of reality in the situation. Underneath it all, Four of Pentacles, what is worth holding on to, and by extension, what is worth letting go of. I'm looking at a Sagittarius who, let's call it a spade. We were at a job or opportunity or a situation where the work was good, the work was fulfilling, and there were some obvious holes in the boat. It was not sustainable. And so in order to get to that next step of where I want to be or what I want to address, we got to look around and say, yo, this is raggedy. This needs to be better. Otherwise, I have to leave. And the conclusion that you came to in the very present day, Sag, is that I'm out, right? I've done enough mental gymnastics. This is not a sustainable model. This is hurting me. I used to push myself through it before, and now I can't minimize what I'm feeling anymore. I'm not comfortable doing this anymore. The work is still good. It's always going to be good work, helping others, or being a benefit on a team, or all these different things. These are well and true, but for my future, I can recognize two things: A, what I'm comfortable with doing, and B, the fire is still there, but I gotta deal with all the disappointment and all the hurt I had from whatever I had to leave behind, and that's gonna stick with me for a while. It isn't gonna stay there permanently, but hey, we got to talk about something, because the only way I'm going to get there is if I completely shut that out. The chapter's closed and we get on to the next. Let's just not repeat those patterns. Okay? Cards of connection, reveal connected energies, please. The bridging gap between all time-based orientations for Sagittarius in this career read. First, what connects the points between what was and what if? What was and what is, between the past and present orientation for Sag in this read. Ooh, I'll take that because it was coming out. Okay, yeah, like I said earlier. Here's why. Six of Pentacles, the everyday investment, that this is something worthwhile to do, that if I do, even if it's not my best, if I do every single day, it'll amount to something. Three of Swords, heartbreak, remorse. The notion that, yeah, it hurts. It hurts. And Three of Pentacles, what could have been a cooperative situation didn't pan out as such. From a functional standpoint, it was not salvageable. And the efforts that we put in every day, sometimes just don't pan out, and sometimes it's just how it is. It can all be true at once. And it hurts to know that because it sounds kind of cold-hearted, but honestly, Sag, I think that's the best assessment that we can give it. It doesn't make you a bad person for seeing a rock for being a rock. Next, between the present and the future, show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Sagittarius in this read. Between what is and what if. Page of Wands, okay. Remind yourselves of the little things. Keep fighting for the little things, not as a way of regression, but finding your purpose. Do not let that go, Sag. Devil, the card of Capricorn. Interesting. And we're going to come back to that devil, but the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. And now that we set ourselves free, what have we learned from it? Because if this keeps on eating away at us, then we're going to take the weight of what didn't go wrong everywhere that we go to, right? The devil gets one of the worst reps in the tarot deck. That eventually 2 will be up, if I'm not mistaken, also in the Learn With Me series. But in my opinion, the devil is the most honest card in the tarot deck because it's honest about the things we don't like about ourselves. If we were truthful, it wouldn't have any power over it. And here, the devil is suggesting that, no, it's just fine. We could smile our way through it and make it work. And we're masking anxiety. We're masking, all the stuff, whatever made us leave, whatever we wanted to stay at, because it never left. It just shifted form. So wherever you're going next, it still hasn't been addressed. It's just mounting up inside. Underneath it all, King of Cups. We know what's best for us. And to express emotionally vulnerable and honest self means to call a spade a spade. Two truths can be true at once. You love the good work that you do, and simultaneously, you couldn't sustain doing it anymore. It's not a fall of the self. It is that whatever was going on there was not sustainable. And that's just where we stand with it. Okay, resolution. The real cards of resolution. As we move towards resolution, let's define the major arcana across the table in the read. And then a crossing pattern as we move towards resolution. For Sag in this read, we start with the World. What about a definitive cycle closing? Nightmares, anxieties, dreamscapes. You had to leave. You had to leave. Stop feeling bad about it. Stop feeling bad. It's not going to do you any good. You did the right thing. It didn't feel like the right thing. Your friends were there. The work was there. It was the right choice. Believe in it like you believe in yourself. Next to the devil. Six of Swords. Right. Six of Swords just represents, quote unquote science and raw action of moving forward and moving on. Here, the reason why it's paired with the devil is because we haven't done anything to address the emotional harm that was caused that led you to leave in the first place. And so if we don't deal with Sag, we're just carrying it. And that's why that Four of Cups is in the future position. We're just trying to smile through it. The smile alone is not going to help. So the notion of reunion, Three of Cups, the people that we need to be around. Page of Cups. Hoping that friendship, community, the things around us will be the reinvigoration point, but we're kind of dodging around the healing. And in resolution, the Sun, in regards to the notion of happiness and where we shine the most. Six of Wands, the notion of victory, It may be bright forevermore. Underneath it all, Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity awaits. Because again, two things are true at once. What we see in your read today, Sag, you had to leave a job opportunity or partnership, and by partnership here, I mean like a business venture that you love doing. And were you the best at it? At times, yes, at times, no. Were you a very good resource and asset? Absolutely. And the heartbreaking truth of it all is that it was not sustainable for you. And so you made the best decision, even though emotionally it hurts you right now to leave. But now that that chapter is officially over for you, very clear, what have we done to address the healing that is needed to get to where we want to be? Because we essentially, we cut off whatever that point was, like going there every day for work or whatever. But in our future orientation, until we deal with that, we're just getting comfortable with a bottled up pain. It's not helping us. We got to dive deeper. And so, yay, we found happiness, and finally we made the right choice and we left. Now what? And that's a question that I have for you to pose to yourself. That's all I got in your read today, Sag. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, I want you to do a more deep dive for a healing process, not just trying to smile through all the pain. You had to do it back here, and it led to that ending. We don't want that repeat, okay? See you around.